This is my true story. At my boyfriend's cousin's wedding, his family made me serve drinks all night because they said pretty women should stand in the front. I did not argue. I smiled and served them for 4 hours, while they treated me like hired help. Nobody asked my name. Nobody cared who I was. Then the announcer said my name as the business sponsor who paid for the entire wedding venue. Their faces froze in shock. My boyfriend turned white. His mother's mouth fell open. That moment changed everything. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me where you are watching from and subscribe so more women can hear this story. I spent 2 hours getting ready for that wedding. I bought a new dress. A beautiful blue dress that cost me $400. I did my hair and makeup perfectly. I wanted to look good because this was the first time I was meeting most of my boyfriend's extended family. We had been dating for 1 year, and this felt important. This felt like a step toward becoming part of his family. I was excited and a little nervous. My boyfriend picked me up at 6. He looked at me and said I looked beautiful. We drove to the venue together. It was a nice place. Expensive looking, big gardens and white chairs set up outside. There were maybe 200 guests. When we walked in, I held his hand. I thought we would find our seats together. I thought we would sit with his parents or his siblings. I thought I would be introduced to people as his girlfriend. But that is not what happened. The moment we walked through the door, his aunt came rushing over. She was a big woman with too much perfume and a loud voice. She looked me up and down. Not in a nice way, in a judging way. Like she was inspecting me. Then she smiled, but it was not a real smile. It was the kind of smile that has something mean hiding behind it. She grabbed my arm, not gently. She actually grabbed me, and she said, "Oh, you are so pretty. Come with me. We need pretty girls in the front." I looked at my boyfriend confused. What did she mean? Pretty girls in the front? For what? He would not look at me. He just looked down at his shoes like a child. His aunt was already pulling me away from him. I followed her because I did not know what else to do. She took me to the side of the venue where there was a table full of drinks, champagne glasses, wine bottles, trays of appetizers. There were 2 other women there, both wearing aprons, both holding trays. His aunt picked up an apron and held it out to me. "Put this on. You will serve drinks during the cocktail hour. The pretty women stand in the front serving. It makes for better photos. You understand." She said it like it was completely normal, like I should be honored. I stood there holding that apron, not believing what was happening. I looked back at my boyfriend. He was talking to his cousins now, laughing about something. He saw me looking at him, and he just shrugged. Actually shrugged at me, like this was no big deal. Like his family asking me to serve drinks at a wedding I was invited to as a guest was completely fine. I felt my face get hot. I felt embarrassed and angry and confused, but I did not want to make a scene. I did not want to embarrass my boyfriend or cause problems with his family, so I put on the apron. I tied it around my waist. His aunt smiled again, that same fake smile. "Perfect. You look perfect. Just walk around with these drinks and make sure everyone has a full glass. Smile a lot, be friendly." Then she walked away, just left me there with the other 2 women who I did not know. They did not talk to me. They just picked up their trays and started walking into the crowd. So I did the same. I picked up a tray full of champagne glasses, and I walked into that wedding as a server. Not as a guest, not as someone's girlfriend. As a server. I saw my boyfriend sitting at a table with his family. His parents were there, his siblings, his cousins, all sitting together at a table with a white tablecloth and fancy centerpieces. There was no empty seat for me. Nobody saved me a spot. Nobody even looked for me. I walked past that table carrying my tray, and his mother did not even acknowledge me. She looked right through me like I was invisible, like I was just part of the staff. That is when I realized something. They did not see me as his girlfriend. They saw me as decoration, as something pretty to look at, but not important enough to actually matter. I walked around that wedding for 4 hours carrying trays. My feet hurt in my expensive heels. My arms were tired from holding the heavy trays. My face hurt from forcing myself to smile. People grabbed drinks from my tray without saying thank you, without even looking at my face. I was just a hand holding glasses to them. Nothing more. His father snapped his fingers at me. Actually snapped his fingers like I was a dog. He pointed at his empty glass and said, "More wine." He did not say please. He did not say thank you. He just snapped and pointed and expected me to serve him. I walked over and filled his glass. He did not even look at me. Just kept talking to the man next to him about business or sports or whatever. His mother walked past me 3 times. 3 times she walked right past me and did not say one word. Did not smile. Did not acknowledge that I existed. This woman knew I was dating her son. She had met me once before at a family dinner, but now that I was holding a tray and wearing an apron, I was invisible to her. His aunt kept checking on me, making sure I was doing a good job serving. She would come over and adjust my apron or tell me to smile more, like I was an employee she was managing. At one point she said, "You are doing so well. You are so good at this. Maybe you should consider event work." She actually suggested I should get a job serving at events, like that was a compliment. The other girlfriends and wives at the wedding were sitting at tables. They were eating food and drinking wine and laughing. They were enjoying the wedding like guests. But not me. I was working. I was serving them. Some of them looked at me with pity in their eyes, like they felt sorry for me, but not sorry enough to say anything. Not sorry enough to ask why I was serving instead of sitting. Most of them did not look at me at all. I was just part of the background, part of the furniture. My boyfriend avoided me the entire time. He would not make eye contact with me. When I walked past his table, he suddenly became very interested in his phone or his food. He was embarrassed. I could see it on his face. But he was not embarrassed enough to stop this. Not embarrassed enough to tell his family that this was wrong, that I was his girlfriend and I should be sitting with him. He just let it happen. And that hurt more than anything his family did to me, because they did not know me. But he did. He knew who I was. He knew what I did for a living. And he still let them treat me like this. 4 hours I served drinks at that wedding. 4 hours I walked around with trays and smiled at strangers and refilled glasses. Not one single person asked me my name. Not one person asked who I was or how I knew the family. They just saw a pretty face holding a tray, and that was enough for them. They did not need to know anything else about me. I was just there to serve them and look good doing it. That was my only purpose in their eyes. His cousin, the groom, walked right past me twice. I had never met him before. This was his wedding, but he did not introduce himself, did not ask who I was, just took a drink from my tray and kept walking. The bride did the same thing. She was busy taking photos and greeting guests. I walked past her several times. She smiled at me once. The kind of smile you give to staff. Polite, but distant. Not the kind of smile you give to family or friends. She had no idea who I was. His uncle made a joke about me. I heard him say it to a group of men. They always get the pretty ones to serve. Smart marketing. They all laughed. They were talking about me like I was not even human, like I was just an object placed there for their enjoyment. I wanted to walk over and tell them exactly who I was. Tell them that I owned a successful business, that I made more money in a month than most of them made in a year, that I was not just some pretty face hired to serve drinks. But I did not say anything. I kept quiet. I kept serving, because I did not want to cause problems. I did not want to embarrass my boyfriend, even though he clearly had no problem letting me be embarrassed. His grandmother was the worst. She was sitting at a table near the bar. Every 10 minutes, she would wave me over. Not politely. She would just wave her hand in the air like she was swatting a fly. And I would have to walk over to her. She never said please, never said thank you. Just told me what she wanted and expected me to bring it immediately. At one point, she spilled wine on the tablecloth. She looked at me and said, "Clean this up." Not asking, commanding. Like I was her servant. I wanted to tell her I was not part of the cleaning staff. But I just smiled and found some napkins and cleaned up her mess. She did not thank me, just turned back to her conversation like I did not exist. That is what hurt the most. Not that they made me serve, but that they made me invisible. They looked at me and saw nothing worth knowing, nothing worth asking about, just a pretty face that could carry trays and pour drinks. That was all I was to them. What none of them knew was that I had saved this wedding. 3 weeks before the event, my boyfriend mentioned during dinner that his cousin's wedding venue had fallen through. The place they booked went out of business suddenly. They lost their deposit. They were panicking because the wedding was so close and every other nice venue was already booked. His cousin was crying every day. His aunt was stressed. The whole family was upset. My boyfriend told me this like it was just gossip, just something interesting to share. But I listened carefully. I asked questions. Where did they want to get married? What was their budget? How many guests? He told me everything. Then I made some phone calls. I owned a business consulting company. I had connections all over the city. I knew people who owned venues and hotels and event spaces. I called in a favor from a client who owned one of the nicest venues in town, a place that normally books up a year in advance, a place that costs $30,000 just for the space rental. I convinced him to open up a date for my boyfriend's cousin. Then I paid for it myself. The entire venue, $30,000. I did not tell my boyfriend I was paying. I just told him I found them a venue and gave him the contact information. He passed it along to his cousin. They were so grateful, so relieved. They thought they just got lucky. They thought the venue had a last-minute cancellation. They had no idea I paid for everything. I did it because I thought I was becoming part of this family. I thought this was an investment in my future. I thought they would be my family someday. My boyfriend knew what I did. I told him after everything was arranged. He was surprised. He said thank you. He said his family would be so grateful if they knew. But he also said maybe we should not tell them. He said it might make them uncomfortable. He said they might feel like they owed me something. He convinced me to keep it quiet, to just let them enjoy the wedding without knowing. And I agreed. I thought I was being humble. I thought I was doing a good thing by not needing credit or recognition. I just wanted to help. But now I understood the real reason he did not want me to tell them. He was embarrassed. Embarrassed that his girlfriend had more money than his family. Embarrassed that I had the power and connections to solve their problems. He wanted to keep me small. Keep me quiet. Keep me in a box where I was just the pretty girlfriend who smiled and did not make waves. So when his aunt handed me that apron, he said nothing. When his family treated me like staff, he let it happen. Because in his mind, that is where I belonged. Not at the table with them, not as an equal, but serving them. Looking pretty and staying quiet. That was my role. And he was fine with that. Around 9 at night, the DJ turned down the music. The MC took the microphone. He was a friend of the groom. He started giving speeches and toasts, thanking people for coming, talking about how beautiful the wedding was, how perfect everything turned out. Everyone was listening and clapping. I was standing near the back, still holding my tray, still in my apron, still invisible. The MC started thanking the sponsors. First, he thanked the parents for their contributions. Everyone clapped. Then he thanked some family friends who helped with the flowers and the catering. More applause. Then he paused. He looked down at his notes. He smiled. And he said, "But our biggest sponsor tonight, the person who made this entire venue possible, who saved this wedding when everything fell apart." My heart started beating faster. No, he was not going to say it. My boyfriend promised this would stay quiet. The MC continued, "The woman who used her connections and her own money to book this incredible venue at the last minute." I saw my boyfriend's face across the room. He looked confused, then panicked. He was shaking his head slightly, but the MC did not see him. The MC was looking down at his card, reading the name. "Please help me thank Miss Sarah Mitchell for her incredible generosity." My full name echoed through the speakers. The room went completely silent. Everyone started looking around, searching for Sarah Mitchell, trying to figure out who that was. Nobody knew, because nobody had asked my name all night. The MC was scanning the crowd. Then someone pointed at me. The MC followed their finger. His eyes landed on me, standing there in my apron, holding my tray of empty glasses. His face changed. He looked confused, then uncomfortable, then almost amused in a horrible way. He spoke into the microphone again. "The woman who has been graciously serving you all evening is actually our main sponsor, Sarah Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Business Consulting. She paid for this entire venue. Everything you have enjoyed tonight was made possible by her generosity." He started clapping, slowly, awkwardly. A few people joined in, but most people just stared. Stared at me. The server, the pretty girl with the tray. That girl was apparently also the person who paid for their entire wedding. I stood there frozen. I did not know what to do. I did not plan for this moment. I did not want this moment. But here it was. Everyone was looking at me now, really looking at me. For the first time all night, they actually saw me. And the looks on their faces were something I will never forget. Shock, embarrassment, confusion, horror. My boyfriend's mother had her hand over her mouth. His father's face was bright red. His aunt looked like she might faint. The bride was pale. The groom looked at the MC like he wanted to kill him. But the best part was my boyfriend's face. He looked terrified. Absolutely terrified. Because he knew this was the end of us. The applause died out quickly. The silence that followed was thick and heavy. You could feel the tension in that room. Everyone was processing what they just heard. The pretty server they had been ignoring all night was actually the reason they had a wedding at all. I watched their faces change in real time. It was like watching dominoes fall. One by one, they all realized what they had done. His mother was the first to move. She stood up from her table so fast her chair fell backward. She started walking toward me. Her face was red. She looked panicked, like she was trying to figure out how to fix this. His father followed behind her. He was not making eye contact with anyone. He looked down at the ground as he walked, ashamed. His aunt, the one who handed me the apron, was frozen in place. Her mouth was open. She looked like someone had slapped her across the face. I could see her mind working, remembering everything she said to me, every condescending comment, every order she gave me. The bride started crying. Actually, crying. Her new husband was trying to comfort her, but he looked just as horrified. This was supposed to be their perfect day, their perfect wedding, and now everyone would remember it as the wedding where they made their sponsor serve drinks. The guests were whispering to each other. I could not hear what they were saying, but I could imagine. Some were probably gossiping. Some were probably judging the family. Some were probably laughing at the situation. His siblings looked embarrassed. One of his sisters had her head in her hands. His brother was staring at my boyfriend like he could not believe how stupid he was. And my boyfriend, he was still sitting at that table. He had not moved. He was just staring at me with this look of complete defeat on his face. He knew he messed up. He knew there was no coming back from this. His grandmother, the one who made me clean up her spill, was being helped out of her chair by someone. She looked confused, like she did not understand what was happening. Someone was probably explaining it to her, explaining that the servant girl she had been bossing around all night was actually the woman who paid for everything. I just stood there. I did not move. I did not smile. I did not wave or acknowledge the announcement. I just stood there in my apron holding my tray and let them all look at me, let them all feel the weight of their shame. This was their moment, not mine. I already knew who I was. I did not need an announcement to validate me, but they needed this. They needed to see what they had done. They needed to understand that they had judged me based on nothing but my appearance. They assumed because I was pretty and quiet that I must not be important, that I must not be worth their time or respect. And now, they were choking on that assumption. His mother reached me first. She was out of breath from walking so fast. Her face was red and sweaty. She grabbed both my hands, actually grabbed them, and held them tight like we were old friends. "Sarah. Oh my goodness, Sarah dear. I had no idea. Nobody told me. If I had known." She kept saying my name over and over, like saying it enough times would erase the fact that she ignored me all night. that she walked past me 3 times without acknowledgement. I gently pulled my hands away from hers. I did not say anything, just looked at her. She kept talking, filling the silence with excuses and apologies. This is so embarrassing. I am so sorry. We thought you were part of the catering staff. We had no idea you were the one who helped us. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. She was trying to hug me now. I stepped back. I did not want her touching me. His father came up next. He would not look me in the eyes. He kept looking at the floor. Miss Mitchell, I apologize. This is very awkward. We did not know who you were. Thank you for your help with the venue. He said it like he was reading from a script, stiff and uncomfortable. This man snapped his fingers at me an hour ago, treated me like I was beneath him, and now he could barely look at me. His aunt was next. She was crying, actual tears running down her face. Oh, honey, I am so sorry. I feel terrible. If I had known, I never would have asked you to serve. Please, forgive me. Please. She was practically begging. I remembered her fake smile when she handed me the apron, her condescending voice telling me to smile more, her suggestion that I should consider event work as a career. Now she was calling me honey and crying. The bride came over with her new husband. She was still crying too. Her makeup was running down her face. Sarah, I am so sorry. I did not know. Nobody told me. This is so humiliating. Thank you for everything you did for us. Really, thank you so much. Her husband nodded along. He looked uncomfortable, like he wanted to be anywhere else. Yes, thank you. We really appreciate it. This is just a big misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. That is what he called it. Like it was all just a silly mistake. Not a deliberate choice to treat me like I did not matter. Other family members started coming up too. People I had never met. People who ignored me all night. Now they all wanted to introduce themselves, shake my hand, thank me, tell me how wonderful I was, how generous, how kind. It was pathetic. All of it. These people did not care about me. They cared about how they looked. They were embarrassed that they got caught treating someone badly, embarrassed that other people saw what they did. But if that announcement had not happened, they would have let me serve all night and never thought twice about it. My boyfriend finally stood up from his table. He walked over slowly, like he was walking to his own execution. Everyone stepped back to let him through. They were all watching us now, waiting to see what would happen. He stood in front of me. He tried to smile, but it looked wrong, forced. Sarah, hey, can we talk? His voice was quiet, almost a whisper. I looked at him, really looked at him. This man I spent a year with. This man I thought I might marry someday. This man who let his family treat me like garbage for 4 hours and said nothing. I had so many things I wanted to say to him, but I kept my voice calm, cold. Talk about what? He glanced around at all the people watching us. Maybe we could go somewhere private? I shook my head. No, say what you need to say here. He looked uncomfortable. Good. He should be uncomfortable. I did not know they were going to announce that. I told them to keep it quiet. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted things to go. I almost laughed. You are sorry it got announced? That is what you are sorry for? He realized his mistake. No, I mean, I am sorry about everything. About the apron. About you serving. I should have said something. I should have stopped it. Yes, you should have. My voice was louder now. People were definitely listening. You knew who I was. You knew what I did for your family. And you let them hand me an apron. You let them treat me like staff. You sat there with your family and pretended I did not exist. His face was red now. I did not know what to do. My aunt just grabbed you, and I did not want to make a scene. You did not want to make a scene, but you were fine with me being humiliated for 4 hours. I did not think it would be that bad. I thought maybe you would just serve for a little bit, and then come sit down. You thought wrong. He was getting defensive now. I could see it in his eyes. Why did not you just say no? Why did not you refuse to wear the apron? And there it was. He was trying to make this my fault, like I should have fought harder, like I should have caused the scene he was too cowardly to cause. I did not refuse because I did not want to embarrass you. I did not want your family to think I was rude or difficult. I was trying to be nice, trying to fit in, and you took advantage of that. He reached for my hand. I pulled it away. Sarah, please, do not do this here. Let's just go home and talk about this. Home? You think I am going home with you? He looked confused. What do you mean? I started untying my apron. Slowly. Everyone was watching. I mean, this is over. We are done. His eyes went wide. What? No. Come on. Do not overreact. Yes, tonight was bad, but we can work through this. I pulled the apron off and dropped it on the floor. Right there in front of everyone. Overreacting? You think I am overreacting? My voice was loud now. I did not care who heard. I paid $30,000 for this venue. I saved this wedding. I used my connections and my money to help your family, and you let them treat me like hired help. He tried to grab my arm. Keep your voice down. People are staring. I pulled away from him. Let them stare. Let them all hear this. You knew what I did for your family. You knew I paid for everything. And you still let your aunt hand me an apron. You sat there and watched me serve drinks to your father, who snapped his fingers at me like I was a dog. You watched your mother walk past me like I was invisible. You did nothing. You said nothing. You were embarrassed of me. He shook his head. I was not embarrassed of you. I was just trying to keep the peace. Keep the peace? What about keeping my dignity? What about standing up for me? His mother tried to interrupt. Sarah, dear, please. Let's all calm down. I turned to her. You do not get to tell me to calm down. You ignored me all night. Now you want to call me dear because you found out I have money? Because you found out I am not just some pretty face? She stepped back. Quiet now. I looked around at all of them. His whole family, the bride and groom, all the guests watching. You all made assumptions about me based on how I look. You saw a pretty woman and decided that was all I was. You did not ask my name, did not care who I was, just put me to work and forgot about me. And that says everything about who you are as people. The aunt was crying again. We made a mistake, a terrible mistake. Please let us make it up to you. I shook my head. There is nothing to make up. You showed me exactly who you are, and I believe you. I looked at my boyfriend one last time. You want to know the saddest part? I actually loved you. I thought we had a future. I thought I was going to be part of your family. That is why I helped with the venue. Not because I wanted credit, not because I wanted them to owe me, but because I thought they were going to be my family too. But you do not treat family like this. You do not let people you love get disrespected and humiliated. You stand up for them. You protect them. And you did not do that for me. He had tears in his eyes now. Sarah, please. I love you. Do not throw away a whole year over one bad night. You threw it away, not me. The moment you let your aunt hand me that apron and you said nothing, that was the moment you threw us away. I picked up my purse from behind the bar, where I had left it hours ago. I walked toward the exit. My boyfriend followed me. Sarah, wait. Please. Where are you going? I did not stop walking. I am leaving. This venue that I paid for, this wedding that I saved, I am done being here. He grabbed my arm. I stopped and looked at him. Let go of me. He let go immediately. Please, do not leave like this. Stay. We can fix this. I will make it right. I laughed. A bitter laugh. How? How will you make this right? Will you go back in time and defend me? Will you stand up to your family and tell them they were wrong? No. You will do what you always do. You will make excuses. You will tell me I am being too sensitive. You will convince me to forgive them because they are family. And I will end up apologizing for being upset. That is what would happen. But not this time. He looked desperate now. I will do better. I promise. Just give me a chance. I gave you chances all night, Every time you saw me serving and said nothing. Every time you avoided looking at me. Every single time you chose your family's comfort over my dignity. Those were all chances. And you failed every single one. I started walking again. He did not follow this time. I walked out of that venue into the cool night air. I could breathe again. My phone started ringing before I even got to my car. It was him. I declined the call. He called again. I declined again. Then the texts started. Please answer. We need to talk. I am sorry. Do not do this. I blocked his number. Then I sat in my car for a minute. I looked at myself in the mirror. My makeup was still perfect. My hair still looked good. I still looked like the pretty girl they wanted standing in the front. But I was so much more than that. I was a CEO, a business owner, a woman who built her success from nothing, a woman who was kind enough to help people even when they did not deserve it. And I was a woman who knew her worth. Over the next few days, his family tried to contact me. His mother sent flowers to my office. His aunt sent a long email apologizing. The bride sent a card. I did not respond to any of them. My boyfriend called from different numbers, left voicemails, begging me to talk to him. I deleted them all. 2 weeks later, I heard he was telling people I overreacted, that I was too proud, that I embarrassed his family. Good. Let him say whatever he wants. I know the truth. They treated me like I did not matter until they found out I did. And that tells me everything I need to know about them. I deserve better than that. I deserve someone who sees my worth even when I am holding a tray, even when I am wearing an apron, even when nobody else is watching. That is real love, and he was never capable of that.